Okay, so I'm about to get the crap burned out of me with this video. Not only is this going to be controversial, but the Twitter mob is going to have one heck of a show. The way I decided to make this video first started when my friend picked me up from the airport. I just came back from Anime Matsuri in Houston, Texas. So, my friend picks me up from the airport, and somehow we ended up talking about Lolis. Yeah. A bit uncomfortable, honestly. Now, people talk about Lolis all the time, and I never quite understood what it was. I asked multiple of my friends, and some said, Lolis is just like a childlike female character. Another one of my friends joked and said it was worse than jailbait. Google says a childlike female character, particularly in the lolicon genre. Okay, Google. I always ask myself, does this mean that people that are into lolis are pedos? P-E-D-O, that forbidden word, right? Answering that question could get me in trouble, and it is quite uncomfortable to talk about. I neither defend people who are into lolis or who hate lolis. Really, I am really just baffled and perplexed by the whole thing, and I kind of understand it better now. But what I am confident in is that I believe I know why people get freaked out about lolis, right?
Anime was a mistake.
So I'm here to explain why people react the way they do about lolis. More specifically, Twitter and Western countries like America. So let's get into it. Guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Don't miss a video. If you like anime, manga, video games, and news on geek culture, Japanese culture, then this is the video for you. This is the channel for you. Now, where did this idea of lolis come from? Well, it all started with this novel called Lolita. Yeah, you probably heard about it. You probably heard about Tokyo fashion called Gothic Lolita. Yep, this is where it comes from, or at least the word itself, not necessarily the whole idea of it, but the word came from this novel. The novel was written by Vladimir Nabokov in 1955, and the book was quite controversial. Not sure why it became so popular anyways. The protagonist, an unreliable narrator, a middle-aged literature professor under the pseudonym Humbert Humbert, is obsessed with a 12-year-old American girl, Dolores Haze, whom he sexually molests after becoming her stepfather. Lolita is his private nickname for Dolores. Yeah, so the creep basically named her Lolita. He just kind of gave her a name privately, and that's kind of what he calls it in his creepy little mind. So yeah, as you can see, the origins of this is really just, I don't know. I think it's kind of creepy. So yeah, again, why was this book so popular is beyond me. But anyways, so this is why the West, people always freak out when they hear the word loli or Lolita. I'm not sure why the Japanese decided to use the word Lolita, for the type of fashion that started in the 1990s, right? Many people don't know, but in Japan, Lolita has nothing to do with Vladimir Nabokov's novel. They probably took the word and, they didn't know exactly what it was. But hey, again, so a lot of things get lost in translation because the book was written in 1955. So the word could have just been used and taken and used over time, and eventually it lost its meaning, right? So in Japan, Lolita is just a fashion of straight up cuteness. That's it. Seriously, it's just a fashion of cuteness. So the style started in the 1990s during the radical form of street style. It was born out of the Japanese taste for Hello Kitty cuteness. Yeah. Also, Lolita fashion has been closely linked to the popularity of visual kei. So if you guys listen to a lot of Japanese rock, metal music and Japanese punk music, you will know what visual kei is. Visual kei is basically Japanese music derived from glam rock, metal, punk, where the dudes make themselves look androgynous. Ever watched a Deer and Gray video? Actually, go on YouTube right now and look up the Deer and Gray video called Yokan. You'll see what I mean. Again, I'm not sure why they chose the word Lolita, but it is seen different in Japan. You know, it's got no relationship or any background in you know, pedophilia or pedos or anything like that. You know, they just kind of use the word, and I think this is the mistake that they made, right? So the reason why people in the West freak out about loli characters in anime is for the same reason why they freak out over anime girls with big boobs. Pay attention, okay? Have you ever seen people freak out over a sexy Western cartoon girl like Korra? You know, Legend of Korra? Of course you haven't. You know, for the longest time, the Japanese were never afraid to draw sexy 2D characters. You could say that anime was mostly targeted towards older people, you know? That was not the case for Western cartoons. Most Western cartoons were meant to be for children and young adults. And some shows like Family Guys were targeted towards adults, right? Nobody complained about anime girls with big boobs until the anime boom in the late 2000s and the early 2010s, when Netflix and other video services were helping to spread the love of anime. All of a sudden, millions were introduced to the animation the animation style that they have never seen before, especially Generation Z, the loudest generation on the internet. Okay, so to the Japanese, a loli character is normal, and no one blinks an eye or makes a big deal about Uzaki-chan, for example. You know, however, Western countries like America, with a background in Christianity and Puritan culture, they see these types of characters as overly sexualized because they are not used to the drawing style. Okay, we didn't grow up with that. You know, even Gen Z. You know, it wasn't until the 2010s that anime really started to boom, thanks to the internet and thanks to Netflix and other video streaming services. So keep that in mind. Right, so it is brand new to them, and some are arrogant enough to quote-unquote fix other people's artwork. Yeah. So characters like Uzaki-chan or Megumin are normal Japanese art styles and way more popular. Let me ask you something. Have you watched Dexter's Laboratory before? You watched Dexter's Lab, right? Well, when you look at Dee Dee, do you see any sex appeal? I mean, seriously, when you look at Dee Dee, do you see any sexiness at all? Anything like that? Does it make you think of like a hot girl or something? Of course you don't. Because the cartoon was mainly targeted at kids. And if it targeted at kids, you're not supposed to make the characters look all sexy and stuff, right? This is one of the reasons why I always thought anime was not for kids. From the art style to the mature storytelling and characters, it's no wonder why some idiots freak out, because for the longest time Americans dominated, American cartoons dominated until anime came and dethroned them. There is still a stigma in the Western world that cartoons are only for kids. And there are people that project that same belief onto anime. Okay, that is why people freak out over anime and over lolis and cute anime girls and shit, right? And it's going to take a long time before this stupidity dies out. Thank you guys for watching. This is your boy Andy Matrix. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment below and like this video. Godspeed.